Hack 4, Scene 1, the creepiest video I could make for you. Juliet is really upset, and the last we saw her in that last scene, she had just kind of basically ended her relationship with the nurse, and now she's going to fire Lawrence to try to get some help and get some information, because basically she wants to die if she can't. When she shows up there, Fryer is talking to Paris, who is talking to Fryer, trying to set up the wedding arrangements for her. Paris says, Juliet's dad wants her to get married right away because she's really sad and upset, and he wants her to try to feel better. And Fryer says, you don't even know how she feels about this, so I think we should kind of hold off on this a little bit until you know more of a sense of how she feels about it. Paris says, immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death. She's too upset. Okay, and the reason she's so upset and crying so much is because she's really crying for Romeo, but no one else knows that. So he said, the reason I haven't found out if she's really even interested in this or put the moves on her or anything is because she's so upset, and it's really hard to kind of flirt with someone if they're sobbing because someone was passed away. Her dad wants her to get married right away to stop these tears. And he said, now you know the reason of my haste. Now you know why this has to go so quickly. Friar Lawrence says, I wish I knew. I wish I did not know why it should be slow, why we shouldn't be so quick, going so quickly. Basically said, I wish I didn't know that Romeo and Juliet were married, because this would make this a lot easier. At this point, Juliet shows up. And Paris says, happily met, my lady and my wife. It's good to see you, my wife. And Juliet says, that might be once I am a wife. So, again, this is one of those times when Juliet, who's really good with words, where'd my face go? There we go. This is one of those times where Juliet, who's really good with words, is going to make Paris think she's talking about one thing when she's really talking about another. She's not lying. She's just giving Paris a really false impression. And she said, that might be when I might be a wife. I might be happily met when I'm married. Because she's already married. Paris says, that may be, must be. And Juliet says, what must be, shall be. Okay, so basically he's saying, that may be, you are going to get married to me. And Juliet said, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And Fryer says, that's the way it is. Paris asks her if she came to make confession to him. And Juliet said, to answer that, I should have to confess to you. I'd have to tell you the truth to explain to you why I'm really going to see Fryer. Sorry. Paris says, do not deny to him, Friar Lawrence, that you love me. And Juliet says, I will confess to you that I love him. Paris thinks she's talking about Friar Lawrence, but she's really talking about Romeo. Paris said, so will ye, I am sure that you love me. You're going to tell him that you love me. And Juliet said, if I do, I'm going to be saying it behind your back. You won't hear it, because I'm going to be talking to him. Paris thinks she's saying that because it's going to be in that closed room, but really they're just going to be talking behind his back about how she's not interested in him. Paris says she should stop crying because it's abusing her face. It's making her face look ugly. And Juliet said, that's really not that big a victory for the tears to make myself face look ugly because my face isn't all that attractive to begin with. Paris said, you make it worse with the tears. And Juliet said, look, I'm not saying anything bad, and what I say, it makes my face look bad anyway. Paris said, that face is mine. I own it. And so by making it look worse with tears, you're slandering it. You're saying bad stuff about it. Stop. Juliet kind of ends this conversation here around line 35 and basically said, Friar, should I talk to you now or should I talk to you a bit later? Friar says, we can talk now. And he says to Paris, we should really talk alone. And Paris says, I don't want to do anything to interrupt the relationship between priest and parishioner. Paris leaves, and Juliet's really upset and says, you know why I'm here, and I want to cry with me on this. And Friar Lawrence says, I already know what's wrong, and I've been really stressed out about it. It strains me past the compass of my wits. I'm not even entirely sure what to do about it. Juliet, at line 50, starts talking about how she just wants Fire Lawrence to come up with a plan, and to come up with a plan quickly, because if he doesn't, she's going to kill herself. She holds up the knife and says, "Do thou but call my resolution wise, and with this knife I'll help it presently. If you don't help me out, I'm going to kill myself right here." Then she says, you put us together, God put our hearts together, and you put our hands together, and I'm going to end up killing both of us if you can't give me help, because I'm going to kill myself, and then that's going to probably lead to the death of Romeo. Juliet ends her long speech here with, "Give me information quick. I long to die after what thou speak not of remedy. If you can't give me help for this, I want to kill myself right away." I always wanted to be a hand. I'm going to stop there.